Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I'm Rantoinette. Please like and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Big story today. The economy is tanking. The stock market line go down. I'm not happy about it. And I don't think many people are really happy about it. Even though I'm smiling, I'm dying inside. They just did a recent poll, consumer poll, says that 25% of America is happy with the way things are going, and I guess the other 75% are going, holy fuck. I don't know where we go from here, folks. Probably further down. They say a recession is probably on the way. I'd say count on it. And that just means that people are going to be holding their money tighter. They're not going to be spending it on much. That means that less products are going to be bought, which means less products are going to be made, which means less employees are going to be doing work. So, maybe you're cutting government jobs. Maybe it's just about the tariff thing. Maybe it's about kicking out immigrants that are doing labor here in the country. Whatever the case, it's a triple whammy, and the economy is kind of showing it. Even rich people are scared of this, which they kind of should be. Honestly, they really should be. Let's see what tomorrow brings, or, anyway. An update on the story that I gave yesterday about the Tuft graduate student. Her name is Rumisa Ozturk, the woman who probably viral video at this point, seeing 6 hooded individuals with masks on, snatching a woman up off the streets, putting her in handcuffs and taking her away. Apparently, her big crime was that over a year ago, she wrote an op-ed in her college paper decrying what Israel is doing in Gaza. She didn't even mention the word Hamas in it, but I don't think that really matters, because in America, you have free speech as long as you have the speech that the president and the regime wants. And if you are an immigrant, it doesn't really matter what your status is, whether or not you're a green card holder, or you are a legal resident, or you are a legal refugee. It doesn't matter. Legality be damned. You're gone. Elizabeth Warren reached out and, she didn't reach out. She's demanding that they release her. But, I don't think that Donald Trump or, the party really gives a good goddamn. And sure as shit isn't Marco Rubio. He gave a little talk today saying, if you come into my house and you bring your dirty feet and wipe it all over my carpet, I'm going to kick you out. Dude. Your parents came from Cuba as refugees. They weren't legal when you were born. He was born in 1971. They didn't get legal naturalization until 1975. So Marco Rubio is a frickin' anchor baby. But sure, yeah. You don't come into my house wiping your feet on the carpet. Oh, and by the way, when his parents came, don't let them get it twisted, because Cubans are always talking about Castro and all that stuff. And, they snatch people up off the street for saying the wrong thing. You mean like what America's doing right now? But his parents didn't leave under Castro. They left under Batista a couple of years before Castro took office, or stole office, or whatever way you want to classify it. They left under Batista, who was crooked as a dog's hind leg, corrupt as the day is long, was being bought off by American company after American company. Hell, man, we saw it in the goddamn Godfather. They awarded, I think it was AT&T awarded Batista a golden telephone. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. The echoes of today are just absolutely hilarious. But the son of immigrants that came here, and, whether it's legal or not, I don't have a problem with people coming into this country. That's not my bag. That's your bag. But now you are closing the door behind you, or pulling up the ladder behind you effectively. So, Marco Rubio, go fuck yourself, man. Seriously. You sycophant bastard. Elon Musk. Got to talk about him. I mean, he is basically the effective president right now, so can't not talk about him. He is trying to buy the election in Wisconsin for a Supreme Court seat. He is doing it as blatantly as he can in broad daylight in front of God and everybody, offering people hundreds of dollars to sign his petition. I mean, how is this not bribery? I mean, how is this not election fraud? Now, keep in mind that Wisconsin Supreme Court already has cases against Elon Musk. And, he is desperate to get a friendly judge on the bench so they'll drop those cases. And there will be more cases if the person that he doesn't back, I guess you would consider the left-leaning judge wins the election. If she gets in, there will be more cases. So Elon Musk is, fit to be tied. And honestly, this is the test. By the way, folks, if you're living in Wisconsin, go vote. It's open right now. You can vote any day between now and April 2nd, which is a Tuesday. You can vote. Go vote. Please, for God's sakes, go vote. But, he is, this is kind of the test. Most of the Republican Party right now, either they're on board with Donald Trump's, agenda, or they're just basically hostages because they know that Elon Musk's deep pockets will just dump copious amounts of cash into their next election. So they're cowering like dogs. They're cowering like dogs. Talk about the most weak, sycophantic little suck-ups I've ever seen in my life. But they're all scared that Elon Musk is going to come in and dump some cash into their next election. So they're either not saying jack or shit, or they're just on board with the fascism. And here's the irony of all of this. Elon Musk is constantly accusing the people who are protesting Tesla dealerships of being funded by like a George Soros type group, while he is literally trying to buy an election in Wisconsin. I mean, irony, right over the head. How do you not see this stuff? And besides, DOGE illegalities that they're doing right now, look, just little civics 101 for you. Congress passes laws. They send it to the president signs it into law, and then once it's signed, that's it. The only way to get that law to go away is another congressional law to take it away or to amend it. It has to be done through Congress. There is no backdoor guy that after the president signs it, then some unelected bureaucrat behind the scenes goes, well, I know that Congress wants this and Donald Trump wants that, or the president wants this, but I'm going to scratch this off and I'm going to scratch this off, and I'm definitely getting this one. That's got to do with me. And you notice that most of the agencies that he is going after, Elon Musk is going after, are direct contravention with his agenda. These agencies that have lawsuits against him for breaking the fucking law, he's going after them first. The CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, that was one of his first targets. Not only do they have investigations against him, but if he gets rid of those people, because he's trying to make Twitter, X, the everything app, which he wants to do banking on there, and the CFPB is, they are banking watchdogs, which, by the way, bank fees are back. Joe Biden got rid of some, overzealous bank feeing that banks were doing, like overdraft fees and credit card companies. And that's something that's in the purview of the CFPB. Joe Biden got rid of some of those, which, never was a big fan of Joe Biden. I keep saying it over and over again. I wanted Bernie. We got Joe Biden. But he did a couple of good things, and that was one of them, getting rid of overdraft fees, or the amount of the overdraft fee, bringing it down. And well, that's gone. That's gone. Banks are back in business, baby, and they're coming after you. So whatever you do, make sure that your checkbook's balanced, because they will get a little taste. Banks, they don't have enough money, man. They're going hungry over there at Citigroup. Bank of America, man, it's tough times for them. They need your help, and they need you to open their wallet. So that's awesome. Anyway, DOGE, absolutely illegal, everything that they're doing. And Elon Musk, we have got to prove to him that it doesn't matter how much money he spent. I think he spent $20 million on a Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin. $20 million. I mean, I know that's couch money for him, but that's a big fucking deal. And he could just dump it anywhere he wants to. I mean, feed the homeless, solve the housing crisis. Fuck that shit, man. I want fascism, and I want government subsidies, big frickin' ketamine-addled welfare queen that you are. Elon Musk, go fuck yourself. Moving on. Sorry. Recently, in the wake of the whiskey leak scandal, J.D. Vance and his wife Usha Vance are now in Greenland trying to drum up support for America to take over the island, which they don't want. I recently saw a hat that some adventurous Greenland people made. It's a red hat, and it says, "Make America go away." They are not happy. And they were just looking, Usha and JD were just looking to be able to find at least one Greenlander to invite them in their home and give them a little, well, we like America kind of interview. We don't mind you guys coming here. Keep in mind, folks, America's already got military bases there. But honestly, the ultimate goal is Donald Trump wants the damn island. I don't know. Do they actually believe in climate change? They're worried about what the future will hold. I don't think it's that. I think there's probably some kind of mineral there, or possibly some billionaire wants the island for his Ayn Randian style, libertarian, heaven. I don't know if you ever read Ayn Rand, but all of the rich people are going, oh my God, workers want so much money and they're beating us up, so we just moved to a top of a mountain with John Galt. Well, y'all motherfuckers, go to your mountain, live with John Galt, and leave us the fuck alone. And Greenland basically collectively said, hell no, because they couldn't find one family to let them in their door. They're going around knocking on doors going, would you mind having a conversation with the vice president and his wife? And they're like, no, thank you. Which is, I'm sure, a Canadian way of saying, fuck off. Because that's what I would say. But, I'm sure that a Greenlandier, I don't know, or a Canadian would probably just tell them, no, thank you. Which, is nice, Here's a segment I like to call Little Things. The USDA has let $2 million worth of food go to waste that were supposed to go to food banks in Ohio. And Ohioans are pissed off. Can you imagine? These people, the Conservative Party, who says that they're the party of the working class, they're here to help you. They are basically telling, hey, poor people, go fuck yourself, bootstraps. Yo, you want something to eat? Good luck with that. Why don't you hang out behind a restaurant? Maybe some, maybe one of the cooks will throw you some scraps out there, it'll keep you from buying cat food and living off of that when grandma doesn't get her Social Security check. I guess she's going to be eating Purina. But Ohioans are not happy about this. And this is just the start, man. Feeding poor people, that's woke, man. Taking care of the sick and the elderly. Oh, come on, man. That sounds like some liberal libtard bullshit, isn't it? Well, good stuff. So far, in the DOGE firings of all of the government agencies, the first round numbers have come in. The Commerce Department, which, by the way, Republicans usually love the Commerce Department. It's all about, business and making money. The Commerce Department firings total about 30%. The Small Business Association, and Republicans are always talking about small business. By the way, it's absolute horseshit. What they're trying to do is use small business as a way to get in the door. But basically, they're just trying to do this for big business. And they're saying it's for small business. And small business gets a little cut, but the big business is where the money is. But Small Business Association has been cut by 43, I think it's 43%. The IRS was cut by 30%. And I mean, honestly, that tracks. Look, I know nobody loves the IRS and nobody loves paying taxes. And I've covered this conversation before, but the IRS auditing you is a hell of a lot more likely now than it was when there were more IRS agents that were able to go after billionaires. Those are the people with the money. Those are the people with the taxable dollars. And the more IRS agents you have, I believe it's 6-to-1. Every dollar spent for the IRS earns them back $6. So 6-to-1 that's pretty good for a government agency. But now that their budget's being cut and their employment's being scaled back, now they're just going to go back to auditing middle class and poor people. Congratulations. Hey, that sounds great. The Interior Department was cut by 25%. HUD, Housing and Urban Development, has been cut by 50%. Yet again, that tracks. Housing poor people, woke as shit. All the poors. They're all black and brown, and they're all trying to suck off the American teat. Never mind that many of those HUD recipients are white and in red states, but, too bad, so sad. And the National Science Federation, they were cut by about 30% as well. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And keep in mind, all of this is congressional responsibility. If you want to make these cuts, it's got to go through Congress, and then it goes through the president. That's how the government works. It does not get cut by some asshole bureaucrat, with $400 billion going, I don't like this line item, I don't like this line item. I'm sorry, once it's signed by Congress and signed by the president, it is law. Go back to South Africa and take a fucking civics class, you ass hat. I saw a clip of Joe Rogan the other day. God, that guy has fallen. The Joe Rogan, the everyman, the I don't know nothing, I'm just a dumbass comedian who is now turned into the waiting room for every billionaire to come in and just dish out some bullshit ass propaganda. That Joe Rogan, he just had a guest on the other day that said, polio, not a big deal. Wasn't that bad. Jonas Salk is rolling over in his goddamn grave, man. Jonas Salk, the guy was asked, why didn't you privatize this? Why didn't you try to make some money off of this creation? And he said something to the effect of, if I owned the sun, would I charge people for sunlight or something like that? I mean, talk about the salt of the earth, that guy. And he is rolling over in his grave because we have Joe Rogan questioning polio vaccines. Between him and Alex Jones and that meathead that is now running the NIH, JFK, RFK Jr. I mean, they have a measles outbreak in Texas. There's a group of people that have decided in Texas to not get vaccinated, and then they're all getting measles. Wow, man. Is this some math equation that I'm just not getting? Jesus Christ. What is wrong with you folks? Yeah, I guess you're listening to Joe Rogan. Thank God the Midas touch is actually beating them at this point. Good for them. Really bad for the rest of us, because there are still millions of people that watch that meathead. I have no idea what he's mainlining, whether it's just mainlining MAGA propaganda, billionaire propaganda, or is he taking his own supply? Never trust anybody that sells you supplements, okay? That's just a little piece of advice for you. Never trust anybody that does that. Okay, let's end it today with a heartwarming story. It's not really heartwarming. It just kind of made me smile. Elise Stefanik is, and I say that for a reason, she's a congresswoman from upstate New York. Now, when she won her race, she called herself an independent, moderate Republican. And over the next 4 years, while Donald Trump was president, she started veering right. She got more and more conservative, more MAGA coded. If you guys remember, she was one of the people that was trying to make her bones recently for going after college deans and executives I don't want to say executives, leaders at colleges, going after them for allowing protesters to protest Israel, for what's going on in Gaza. And Elise Stefanik is just standing up there just chastising them. You're bad people, and you're all anti-Semitic because you cannot criticize Israel and not be anti-Semitic. Going after Jewish people is anti-Semitism. Talking bad about the Israeli government, that is just criticizing a government. Israel and Jewish people, they're not the same thing. Many of the people that are in these protests are Jewish people. Jewish Voice for Peace is a group that is a big protester of what Israel is doing. And they wear shirts that say, "Not in my name." But meanwhile, Elise Stefanik, she chastised them, and she got in Donald Trump's, in Donald Trump's eye line. He's like, "Oh, I like the cut of her jib." And she was picked to be the ambassador to the UN, which is, honestly, it's a cake job, man. She don't have to do jack shit, man. She gets to live in a nice Manhattan penthouse close to the UN building. Maybe she got to give an interview every now and then, but she doesn't have to be in Washington. She doesn't have to go to committee hearings. She doesn't have to do anything. This is just a sweetheart of a job. She's already said all of her goodbyes. She bought a new wardrobe. She got a little makeover. She's doing a little smoky eye. She's looking good. She's so excited. She's about to fucking leave Washington and move to Manhattan. She's already got the lease signed. And then Donald Trump and some of the guys in, Stephen Miller and those crew, they noticed that, I don't know if they just noticed, but they noticed that the margin in the House is really close. I think it's 218 to 213, which basically means that if two Republicans switch over to the Democratic side, they don't have a majority anymore, just two. So all of a sudden they did the math and realized, Elise Stefanik, we kind of need you in the House. And I saw an interview with her today, and she had that fake plastered smile on her face, and she goes, "No, I'm really so happy. I'm super happy about having to stay in Washington and give up my beautiful Manhattan apartment job. And I'm just happy to serve the president. I'm just so happy to serve him. It's going to be wonderful to be back in Washington and not get my dream job that I've been working for 4 years. And I sold my soul. I sold all of my credibility and credentials so I could get this. And oh my God, I'm just so excited and so happy to not have any of that stuff. Oh, it warms the fucking cockles of my heart. Oh, she basically, she was chosen to be, to hit the sacrifice fly. And I believe Donald Trump put out, because all of his edicts are on fucking Truth Social, or as he calls it with his loose teeth, Truth Central. He put out his little missive. He bleated, and he said, there's going to be plenty of people who will be able to do as good a job as Elise. We just need her vote in Washington. And she's so happy to serve. She's very happy. She came up to me with tears in her eyes and she said, please, Mr. President, let me stay in. She said, please. And she begged me. She begged like a dog. Oh, Elise. Girl, honey, you sold your soul. I'm so sorry. Can you see how sorry I am? Sucks for you. But honestly, it's not really that great because they maintain the majority. I was kind of hoping that she would go because that would give a pretty good shot at a Democrat winning her seat. The way things are going in 68 days. It's not even 3 months yet. We're 68 days into this administration. And a lot of people are kind of regretting their votes. I think it's warranted. I kind of wish that you'd have come to this conclusion, maybe before the election. But, I mean, if you had to learn the hard way, you got to learn the hard way. And I just hope that in the rest of the special elections, including this one in Wisconsin, that the Democrats actually go out there and do what needs to be done and try to beat this back. Donald Trump is doing everything he can to make sure that your votes don't count. So while they still do, use it. Go vote. Try to save what little bit of democracy we have left, because we're not just on a slippery slope into fascism. We're at the bottom of the fucking hill. All right, folks, that's the show. I really appreciate you watching. If you made it this far, please, yet again, like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. It means the world to me, and I would greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely weekend. I love you. Bye-bye.